We're going to do table allocations. As I said in the last video, I'm not going to talk about cycle table allocations because that can get a little bit trickier. But effectively what cycle table allocations is that if you don't have grades segregated to a certain tables, you could actually have all the matches being cycled across the various tables. All right. But because generally in most pennants I've worked with, you have the better divisions playing on the better tables and the lower divisions playing on the back tables, then we will just use table allocation because that will be easier to control. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to create a custom table layout because as we can see here, none of these have Dandenong, right? Although actually that one could work, although it's actually back to front. So it'll probably be easier if what I do is create a custom table layout. So what we know is that at Dandenong, it goes 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And on the other side, now in order to get to the other side, you have to click tab, right? 15, tab 13, tab 11, tab 9, tab 7, tab 5, tab 3, tab 1. And we're going to call this new table layout, tables Dandenong. I'm going to add that table layout, right? So this gives me a view of what the table arrangement of the Dandenong Center would look like. Now, if I was using all of these tables at Dandenong, that would make sense. But because I'm only using tables 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, then we could very simply just create, a template for, daytime, and then just get rid of the what we don't need, and making sure that we always bring it back to space, right? And then we just create a new table layout. So table standing on daytime. Now, what we want to do is that we want to allocate fixture slots to the table for an allocation. So in D1 here, we would want the first fixture slot to play on table 4 because that's the only table we have, not tables 1. Okay. Now, what is a fixture slot? Now, if I was to take you back to create fixture, right, and you see these columns here, the first column is fixture slot 1, and the first column is fixture slot 2. In D2, we got 1, 2, and 3 fixture slots. So that means we would put match 1 of D1 on table 4 and match 2 of D1 on table 6, right? So what we would do is on table 4, the first match is table 1, and then on the next one is table 6. Okay, and then for D2, the first match is on table 8. The second match is on table. Sorry, I did not mean table. Yeah, fixture slot 1, yes, and then the second fixture slot goes on table 10, and the last fixture slot goes on table 12. And then we're going to save this table allocation, and we're going to call it daytime, right? Save that, and we can see our daytime table fixture slot here. Now, as I said, I'm going to ignore table allocations, but effectively what you could do is that you could cycle them. So that means, from these tables, what you could do is that if you add on a number of tables, it'll cycle around. So then week 1 is like this, but then in week 2, you could have D1 playing on tables, 10 and 12, or 6 and 8, or however you want to do it. But I'm not going to go through that. So what we now do is that we go to table sheets, and then what this will do is that it'll provide you the order, the table settings that you need to automatically populate those score sheets. So what you have to first do is that you have to click on the date the competition starts, which is the 18th of November. you need to select your table, which we have is daytime, Dandenong daytime, and then you select your table allocation, right? And then what you would do is that you would use create sheets, all right? So I want to do rounds only. And what we can see here is that it's populated all of these, we can see on table 4, we got the first fixture slot, table 6, we have the second, and then so on, so on, so on. An offer sheet is something that you can then print out and provide to the players, because then the players will know that on table 12, I am playing on, I am playing on table 12, on table 10, I'm playing on there, and table 8, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and you can provide this on a week-to-week basis. Okay, now the beautiful thing about doing this here is that this is the best way to then print your score sheets. And you can print your score sheets for the entire season, because if you have this checked here, all you have to do is just print score sheets, and it is preparing the score sheets for the entire season and putting them on the right tables. And there's a few to get through. So we're just going to sit and wait. And then what you might do is that for this this offer sheet, it won't necessarily print for all season, but then you can just print that sheet, and then it'll provide it to you here. So we can see here that we've got the offer sheets right here. Once my thing loads, right, which we can then provide to the players as they arrive in, and then they can sort of check their table allocation. Otherwise, what you can see here now is that we've got all the score sheets printed for all the rounds. Okay, now it's done in date order, so you would have to figure out which one's round 1, but we can see here that this one's round 1, right? And we can see that in round 1 that we've got table 4, our tables are populated here. Table 6, table 8, table 10, 12, and 12, right? And then the following week, which is the 25th of November, and it appears, you can see that it's put in fixture slot 2, which is Cleveland Pizza House, on table 4, and then our Spock and Tipsters on table 6. So because they're the second fixture slot, right? And then we have our D2s there. Otherwise, if you really want to put it in one file, then you can have it as RC. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. So yeah. Now the next thing you could do is that you could provide a season grid, right? And you can have, well, you've got all your here, and then you say you want to use your team names with the tables at the top, and then you can do place table grid, and it tells you on table 4, well, in that's not exactly right. Because this isn't taken into effect that this is going into 2025. So because that's not necessarily what RCPS was intending to do, just uses a season. So it thinks that this is 2024. That's a good bug that I will bring up with Jared, but very simply, you can just manipulate that as it is. And you can see here that for this date, then this is, which teams are playing on what rounds. So then what you can do is that you can copy this, right? And then in that Excel that we had before, you can just paste it like so, and then have this all prettied and printed out. And again, you can take away your grade, take away your round, but it's generally a good idea to have all of that. But this is a nice little feature to showcase and have it all there, so all the players know, okay, well, I'm this team, so I'm going to play on table 4 in this week, and it's just something nice to have printed out. So that's tables, and what I'm going to talk about in the next video is ladders and customization. So when we do our ladder customizations, and that means our pennant is ready to go. So I'll see you in the next video.